Hey, made it up to Utah. First medical trip in just about a year.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boy.
I'm here at the University of Utah Medical Center for my first appointment. Let's continue with the story where I left off. Luckily, after the Nucala fail, the actual cure that I've been waiting for, called Dupilumab, that finally became available. The FDA approved it just, I guess, a couple days after I stopped Nucala. Even though I had to go through some trouble getting Dupilumab right away, I mean, it turned out that I was able to get it pretty fast. So by May of 2017, I was able to start Dupilumab. And if you guys have been following my health videos, you'll remember that Dupilumab is the so-called cure that I've been waiting for. The reason I even tried Nucala was because I thought I had to wait another 2 or 3 years for Dupilumab to be FDA approved. It was still in clinical trials, and even though it was doing very well, it was getting pushed through pretty quickly. Nobody thought a medication would be approved that quickly after clinical trials, so that's why I started Nucala. But luckily, Dupilumab was available and on the market by last March or April, and then I was able to get it around May. So Dupilumab is a injection that you usually give yourself, but I kind of wussed out and just had the nurse show me how to do the injections the first time. So the very first treatment, you do 2 injections, and then after that you're supposed to do 1 injection every 2 weeks. So after the first treatment, which is the 2 injections, things went surprisingly well. I never had skin that smooth within just a couple days. And then there was a while in there where my skin turned quite red and it was peeling quite a bit. It felt pretty warm. But what had actually happened was Dupilumab was healing my skin, and that's kind of what it's designed to do. It's designed for people with severe eczema. So it's about almost 12 hours since I've had my first Dupilumab shot. I actually think it's working. My asthma has loosened up. So I just finished the asthma treatment. Overall feeling pretty good, and aside from the problem areas around my forehead and my cheekbones that are still pretty crunchy and peeling another layer, all the other parts of my skin, like these clean parts and over here and all around down my neck, just basically anything I can touch, the skin has softened up a lot. It almost feels like soft baby skin. I'm starting to notice that I'm getting a lot of red blotches on my face and some on my neck. Yeah, face is getting more red. Even these parts where it was pretty clear this morning, you can tell it's pretty red now. Within, I would say, about a week or so, it had peeled through a couple layers of skin, and what was underneath was perfectly healthy skin. I never felt skin this soft and normal. Usually people with eczema and other skin problems, we have pretty thick and rough, scaly, reptilian-like skin, or just kind of feels like you're wearing a rubber suit. But with Dupilumab, after shedding off that couple layers of damaged skin, my skin felt like somebody else's skin. It felt like any other normal person's skin, with soft textures and a good bounce in it. So it was literally a miracle. But as with every story, there's always a twist. Pretty soon after, I think, the second injection, my eyes started swelling up, my eyelids, so upper and lower eyelids started swelling up, and then even on the left eye right here, it would break out and start getting some kind of skin infection. Eyes are still kind of watery. It was just also a lot of gunky stuff in my eyes. So I got these eye problems and went to the ophthalmologist, and we tried several different steroids and eye creams and eye drops. None of them worked, which is not a surprise for me. Like not much does work on my body. So you know, I was struggling whether I should give up Dupilumab or not, but Dupilumab was just doing such an amazing job with my skin that I just couldn't give it up. So my dermatologist and I talked about how we can adjust when I give myself the injection, so kind of spread it out to every 3rd week instead of every 2 weeks or every 4th week. And my eyelids are more swollen and continue to swell since starting Dupilumab, and the eyelid swelling is a known side effect of Dupilumab. We just thought maybe we'd delay the next injection for a week. Because since Dupilumab is so new, even though they suggest that you give yourself injections every 2 weeks and that's kind of like the standard, it's not optimal for everybody. It hasn't been optimized because there just hasn't been that many people who've used it, and they haven't collected enough data to know exactly how much of that medication somebody should give themselves depending on their personal condition. So I adjusted it over a couple injections until I got to about every 5 weeks an injection, and surprisingly my skin was still doing very well, even though the injections were so far spread apart, and I'm getting less of the medication than if I gave myself the injection every 2 weeks. So by giving myself the Dupilumab injections every 5 weeks instead of every 2 weeks, the eye swelling situation kind of stopped. My eyes are still much smaller than they were before, maybe like 40% smaller, so I look quite a bit more Asian. But now I can see clearly, and my eyes aren't watery, and they aren't puffy and red all the time as when I gave myself the injections every 2 weeks. So it's a good compromise, and my skin continues to do very well. I guess even just in the first like 3 or 4 weeks of using Dupilumab, because my skin healed up so much that the rest of my body was able to heal as well. So I gained a lot of weight because before I was so malnutrition, and I would lose a lot of mass and moisture just because my skin peeled so much that I just couldn't ever gain weight. So I was very underweight at about 120 pounds, and within a couple weeks after starting Dupilumab, I was up to 150 pounds and just kind of stopped there, which is about the normal weight. That's 150 pounds is about the target that my doctors and I have had for me for a long time. We just couldn't get enough nutrition and stabilize my condition long enough for that to happen. And but as soon as I started Dupilumab, I easily hit that mark. So Dupilumab definitely has been the miracle, even though it hasn't been the cure that I was hoping for, but it's by far the most effective and helpful treatment that I've tried ever, and it hasn't had any bad side effects other than with the eye swelling. But you know, just by spreading out my injections every 5 weeks, it's been manageable. So feeling so good about that, and just kind of allowing my body to heal.